guys, it's Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing here, and I am here with a book review. So as I said in my weekly wrap up, I read In Order to Live by Yeonmi Park this week, and it just blew my mind. It's just absolutely amazing, and it was one of those ones I wasn't planning to do a review on, but as soon as I finished it I was like, I need to do a singular video review for this because this deserves to be talked about for more than a couple of minutes in a long wrap up video. So yes, if you have not heard about this book, this is about a girl called Yeonmi Park who was born in North Korea in 1993, and then when she was 13 she escaped from North Korea into China but fell into the hands of human traffickers. So then for another couple of years she was in China, basically living not a great life, and then eventually she managed to escape into South Korea and kind of built herself back up from everything that happened to her, and then she's gone on to kind of becoming the face of North Koreans who have gotten out basically and are telling the truth about what life is like in North Korea. She has done a lot of TED Talks and stuff like that, and talked to in summits and stuff like that around the world, which I haven't actually listened to any, but I only finished this last night, so I'm definitely going to go on and read or listen to some of her actual talks that she has done, because this book was just absolutely spectacular. I kind of feel like I always thought before I read this book that, you know, you kind of have a general idea of what North Korea kind of must be like. You hear the things coming out of it. I always kind of felt like I had a general idea of what life must be like for people, but this book completely blew all of those ideas out of the water. It's so great in kind of like taking those blindfolds off people and saying, this is what life is like, this is what we had to do. This girl is only 2 years younger than me, so, but her tales of her growing up almost feels like it could be 50 years ago, like people literally starving to death in their villages, people lying dead in the street and dead in the rivers and stuff like that because they're starving or they're cold, and you know, the electricity doesn't work in a lot of the villages, it comes on intermittently, and there's a celebration. Like every time the electricity came on, everyone celebrated in the village because they had electricity, even if it was only for a couple of hours, and it's just unbelievable. I kind of started reading this and every page was blowing my mind, because I just never imagined that life could be that hard. And maybe I was just being really naive. You kind of hear about these things but you don't really take them in sometimes, and like I work in news and I hear about things and bad things, how people are living, and I do feel like I have a general idea, specifically in things like, you know, in the Middle East and in Syria and places like that. Like I have a very good idea of how people are living over there. It's in our faces every single day, you know, which it should be. We should have to know how these people are living while we are living in our comfort, and you know, we have all our food at the disposal and heat and light and food or TV and stuff like that. But North Korea is so much harder because there's so little coming out of North Korea. So it's books like this with people who've actually lived there and have risked their lives to come out and tell their story that are so important. I just felt like there was a real honesty in this book. Like, she really doesn't hide anything. Things that she has been ashamed of, that her family could be ashamed of, she has it all there. She isn't hiding anything. She knows that she kind of had to say everything that happened to her, you know, in the hands of human traffickers, things that her family had done, like her family were kind of being kind of almost illegal traders at one point when they were in North Korea, just to get a little bit of money, because otherwise they would have no money to eat properly. And you know, that can get her family into trouble, and it did get her remaining family in North Korea in trouble, but she still had to speak up about it. And like even bits like her father is like her hero, and you can see how much she loves her dad in the book, but at the same time she doesn't skirt away from the fact that, like most Korean men, he occasionally beat her mother. And she's saying, you know, she's not excusing his actions, but it's just kind of the way of life over in North Korea. It's the culture that these people are being brought up into, where the men are first, the men are more important, and they have every right to beat their wives. So she does have that in the book, and I think it was really brave of her to put that in her book, especially for a man like her dad, who obviously she loves very much and is her hero. But she still put that in there to say, you know, like, he isn't perfect, he did these things because that's how he grew up, and you know, it's the culture and things like that, and she probably would know that a lot of people could have their own opinion about that kind of thing, and she still put it in there, and I just thought that was really, really brave of her. There's just a real honesty about this story that's just really, really touching. Everything she's saying, you almost feel like she's personally telling you the story. It's not just a book, it's like she's telling you, like she's telling the reader, me. She told me her story, and you feel really grateful and really privileged to hear this story, because it's so harrowing and it's so hard to read at times. Like, there's really terrible things that happen to her and her family, and things that she has to do, choices she has to make in order to save her family, maybe sacrifice herself at times, sacrifice other people that she doesn't really know that well in order to save her mother or her sister or her father. And like, it's such a hard choice, and she still has to do them. And you know, at 14, 15 years of age, when I was in school, probably doing an exam or having lunch with my friends in school and listening to music and stuff like that, she was being basically the mistress of a human trafficker, because she had no choice. It was either that or be killed or be sold off to a farmer where she would be, you know, treated like a slave. And it's just so hard to believe that this happened in this day and age. Like, when she was going over to China, when she was escaping from Korea into China, it was 2007. And like, when I think of 2007, I still think, like, I know 2007 was a good bit ago now, but I still kind of think of 2007 as only like a few years ago. And it just seems crazy that that would have to happen. Like, people would have to be like that now. And of course it's happening every day now, with Syrian refugees coming over and people from the Middle East, you know, taking the boats over to Greece and to Europe. So it is happening in all parts of the world, and it is very, very hard to believe. But again, this book just kind of opened my eyes to these things, and just like, how can this happen? Like, how is the world like this? How is this country like this, where these people have to be like that? And it's just insane. And there's just this real beautiful like feel of this book, where even though she's been through so much, and she's been like through like literally hell, like nothing, like if I'd been through what she'd been through, I don't think I'd be able to get up in the morning, let alone, you know, be what she does and go and get an education and talk to people about what she's been through and relive it over and over and over again, through educating people about North Korea and life in North Korea. She still like finds the beauty in life and the kindness in people, even though she's been treated so horribly for most of her life by people. She still finds beauty and kindness in them, and I just thought that was so great and so touching in the book. Like, when I finished this book, I really kind of had a lump in my throat. I didn't cry, but like, I was almost there. I was like literally on the brink of bursting into tears, just for the fact that this girl is so strong and amazing, and my heart went out to her, and I just wanted to like tell her that her story really touched me, and it was just really beautiful and really powerful, and she's just so brave and so strong and courageous, and just a lovely, lovely person. Like, she's just such a nice person, even after everything she's been through. And it's just crazy, it's just insane to think that she's been through so much, and she's only 23 years old. Like, she was only 21 when she started writing this book. Like, that, like, so all this is basically from the time she was young to the time she was 21, and she's like lived 1,000 lives basically. Like, the amount of stuff that happened to her, you wouldn't believe could happen to someone who's only 21 years old, and all the stuff she's had to deal with and stuff she's been through. Like, and she's not even 30, and you're just like, it's just crazy. But this book is just really touching. It's really, really fantastic. It's told in a really, really lovely way, very conversational way, I think. As I said, it feels like she's speaking directly to you. I felt like everything what she's saying was really, really honest. I don't think there was a lot that was really edited. She really just put it all out there for the world to see. Even though, you know, as I said, it could have people's opinions a certain way about her family members and stuff like that, but she still put it all out there. And yeah, it's just fantastic. As I said, I think it's a must read for people, just to know what life is like in other countries where, you know, people don't live a quality of life the way we do in the Western world. Just fantastic, 5 out of 5 stars, and I really, really, really encourage everyone to read it if they haven't read it, because it's just fantastic. So yes, 5 out of 5 stars. 2 In Order to Live, absolutely beautiful. Definitely gonna be, not sure if I'll ever be able to reread it, but definitely something that I'll be sharing with all my friends and family and telling them to read, because it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, So I hope you guys pick it up. Please let me know if you have read it and what you guys think of it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys again next time.